this video, we will take a look at the standard form of a conic section, trying to determine if it is an ellipse. Now, we could easily type this in the Desmos calculator, but I also want to point out that the number in front of x squared and the number in front of y squared are both positive. If they are both positive or they are both negative, this indicates that it is an ellipse. Now, we do want to write that in standard form, so let's take a look at how we will do that. The first thing we want to do is to get the x's together, and I'm intentionally leaving some space here, and I'm going to get the y's together, again, intentionally leaving some space, and I'm going to move this 48 to the other side by subtracting it. You may say, why did you do that? Well, I'm trying to create space to complete the square. So let me add in a few blanks. And now we want to look at, first of all, I've got to deal with this 4. So I'm going to factor it out. So I take a 4 out of that. That leaves me with 12x plus there. I'm going to have my plus blank. Now the y, I don't have to worry about that because there's only a 1 in front of the y squared. And now let's talk about what goes in our blanks. The first thing you do is to take this number and take half of it. So negative 12 divided by 2, which gives me 6, negative 6, and then you square it. That is the number that goes in your blank. We'll do the same thing over here on the right. Negative 4 divided by 2 gives you negative 2, and then square it. That is what goes in your blank. Now, we are not allowed to just make up numbers that add to one side of the equation. We've also got to add them to the other side of the equation. Now, the 36 is a little tricky because I want you to remember we have a 4 factored out here. So before we fill the blank on the right, we've got to do 4 times 36, which would give me 144. The 4 here, it's a pretty easy one. We didn't factor anything out, so it goes there. All right, so now we look to write our parentheses as a parentheses squared. And over here, we've got pretty easy. You can add those together to get 100. So in this first parentheses, we've got x minus, now you remember the negative 12 that we cut in half? Well, if we cut it in half, that is what goes here. We take the negative 4 here, and we cut it in half, and we get minus 2 for that parentheses. So we just completed the square. And now we need to deal with this 4 here. So the way to do that is we divide everything by 4. These 4s will cancel, giving me x minus 6 squared. And I'm going to do that over 1 plus y minus 2 squared over 4 equals 25. And this is the standard form of an ellipse. One thing that we can do is we can put the original equation in Desmos and this equation in Desmos and see if we get the same graph. If we do, we know then that we have done the completing the square correctly.